Hello, everyone. My name is Abby Robinson, the acting CEO of Atlas Corps and a Class 2 alum. Today, I'm excited to welcome you to this informational call for the Hilton Humanitarian Prize Laureate Virtual Leadership Institute. This is a new virtual leadership training opportunity for emerging social change leaders exclusively within the Hilton Humanitarian Prize Laureate community. We're so excited to have you all joining us today. The Leadership Institute is supported by the Conrad N. Hilton Foundation in collaboration with Atlas Corps. At its heart, the Leadership Institute is a community that provides valuable professional development to empower social change leaders working at Hilton Humanitarian Prize recognized organizations. So today, we have the opportunity to meet members from the teams of both the Hilton Foundation and Atlas Corps, and we will also be giving you deeper insight into the Leadership Institute. We're going to hear from some current Atlas Corps scholars who are in the Virtual Leadership Institute that Atlas Corps provides, and we'll all give you the opportunity to ask questions. So I do invite you, we have the chat box, so if you do have a question throughout this conversation, please feel free to add it, and then we'll address it towards the end of the call. So with that, we're going to get started with some team introductions. And so as I mentioned, my name is Abby Robinson, the acting CEO of Atlas Corps, as well as a Class 2 alum. And I'm going to turn it over to Ye. And
I was muted. Well, welcome everyone. I'm very excited to be part of this very exciting new program. My name is Ye DeStephanis, and I'm the COO for Atlas Corps. And turn it over to Meredith.
Hi guys, I'm Meredith Newmark. I'm the Senior Program Director of Atlas Corps and excited to see you guys. And I'm going to turn it over to our partners at the Hilton Foundation. And I'll start with Hannah.
Great. Hi, everyone. I'm Hannah Mora. I'm manager of the Hilton Humanitarian Prize. It's nice to see some familiar faces and names. Really excited about today and looking forward to this conversation. I'll pass it to Maggie.
Thanks, Hannah. Hi, everyone. This is Maggie Miller. I'm Senior Director of the Hilton Humanitarian Prize and have been working with the prize and our prize laureate community for a bit over 10 years now. So really excited to be in this moment today. And I know Peter's going to set a little bit of context for us. So without lengthy introductions, I will say we're just thrilled to have the president and CEO of the Conrad N. Hilton Foundation with us here today to set a little context. So over to you, Peter.
Thanks, Maggie. And I say my thrill is much greater than yours. It's just wonderful to see so many people that represent all of the prize laureate organizations and names we have cherished for a long time, new faces for new leadership in these organizations. We feel that we will have a lifetime relationship with your organizations and with the laureate organizations that come along. And I think we have felt, and I hope this seems the same way to you, that this fellowship program will be an ongoing contribution to the vitality of your organizations and to your own careers. Now, I think you know probably that last year marked the 25th anniversary of the Hilton Prize. And in regular times, not COVID, the CEOs of the prize laureates would come together in person once a year to welcome the newest recipient into the prize family. So this year was different. We held the event online. We weren't able to do that, but it does mark a turning point in the prize laureate community. That's why we're here today. This year, in partnership with Atlas Corps, we're launching the first ever Prize Laureate Virtual Leadership Institute. And the goals of this institute are twofold. First, to provide the time and space to bring the laureate community together in an engaging way, beyond just the CEOs coming together once a year. And also to support you as the next generation of humanitarian leaders working at some of the most noteworthy nonprofits in the world. We think there's a tremendous amount of power in both of these things. There's power in the laureate community coming together, and there's power for us and for all of you in learning from one another. Next generation of humanitarian leaders, how we can support your work in developing yourselves, developing others, and building movements in your work and in your communities. So the Atlas Corps team is going to walk you through what to expect from the program and to answer any questions you may have. I encourage everybody to apply. There's no cost to you or your organization, and it's a tremendous opportunity. I hope that you'll all enjoy this time together with one another, and I'm excited to connect with those of you who join the program in a few months. So with that, let me hand it over to Abby at Atlas Corps. Thanks.
Great. Thank you so much, Peter. Inspiring words. And also to Hannah, Maggie, and your entire team for the support. And agreed, like this unprecedented times, and we are excited to be able to offer this opportunity. We're excited to engage with you all today. And also in the big picture, to welcome you to the Atlas Corps community. We've engaged more than 1,000 social change leaders from 104 different countries. And now we're excited to add this community to that group and to really strengthen these global ties. So with that, let's get to know more about what is the Leadership Institute. So I'm going to turn it back to Meredith, and she's going to share with us some of those details and some of those presentations. And again, we encourage those questions. Today, we are here to ensure that you have the knowledge that you all need to take the next step on the application and to get to know what this Leadership Institute is all about. Meredith.
Awesome. Thank you, Abby. Can you all see my screen now? Okay.
Yes,
Great.
it looks great.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks for giving me the chance to tell you a little bit about what we do at Atlas Corps and what this special initiative is all about. I am also going to we're going to be able to hear from one of the scholars who's participated in one of our earlier cohorts of a similar program. So you can hear a little bit more about their experience. And please add your questions to the chat box as I speak, and I can get to them after my presentation. So for those who may be unfamiliar with what we do at Atlas Corps engages talented global professionals committed to social change in leadership development programs, and our classic program that we've been operating for 15 years is a 12 to 18 month professional fellowship serving with a US host organization, either in person or online. And last year we launched a new program called Virtual Leadership Institute to continue and deepen our engagement with global change makers, even while travel is very difficult, because Atlas Corps believes in the power of helping rising leaders throughout the world connect across borders, whether online or in person. And so now we've, after we launched kind of a version of this last year, now we're specifically recruiting members of the Hilton Humanitarian Prize Laureate community for this special initiative within our virtual programs. So what is the Hilton Humanitarian Prize Laureate Virtual Leadership Institute, or Institute? It's an online global community to empower social sector leaders known as scholars. And three key elements are 5 learning modules, which are orientation, developing self, developing others, and leading movements. There's also, so those are the themes that we structure our curriculum around. And then there's activities and electives that support those learning modules and add on to learning within those learning objectives. And the third element is a leadership project, which I'll talk more about in a second. And then the key elements of each module include a keynote speaker, interactive workshops, self-led activities, peer coaching groups, and community building activities. And the goal of the Leadership Institute is to prepare scholars for social sector leadership in their communities and organizations. And so scholars in this program will gain benefits such as enhanced skills that are going to increase your impact at hopefully at your organization and even beyond. And increased connections, because not only will you be engaging with 49 other members of the Hilton Humanitarian Prize Laureate community, but you'll also be a part of the Atlas Corps network as well, which Abby mentioned is over 1,000 social change leaders from over 100 countries. So you get to expand your network that way as well. And you will also gain advancement in this leadership project implementation. So the leadership project is a social impact activity that each scholar will bring to the Institute with the idea that the scholar will continue to develop this project throughout the Institute. The leadership project can be an existing or a new activity that benefits your current organization. And the leadership project will provide positive impact to the organization while also enhancing the knowledge gained by the scholar. And so we recommend a project that is implementable within 6 to 12 months and does not require additional funds to implement. And it's fine for you to still be thinking about your project. The application, which we'll briefly touch on later, does ask for you to submit an idea, but it's fine for it to be just an idea at this phase or in development. There's going to be time during the Institute to develop your project, and your peer coaching groups are going to help you through that process during the Institute. And so the fourth benefit I wanted to mention is the access to additional trainings and events. For example, you'll be invited to the annual Hilton Humanitarian Prize ceremony. And Atlas Corps also holds additional trainings throughout the year that you'll gain access to. So for example, we have these fireside chats with CEOs of outstanding nonprofits and businesses. And we also, have an annual resume review workshop. There's all kinds of trainings and opportunities that you'll gain access to through Atlas Corps. And to tell us a little bit more about our programs, we have a couple scholars who have already started earlier cohorts of the Virtual Leadership Institute. And so I want to hear about their experiences. And so Selma and Ayatayo, I'd like each of you to tell us what has been the most valuable part of your experience with the Virtual Leadership Institute so far. And as you give your remarks, can you introduce yourself with your full name, country where you're from, and your current title? Selma, let's start with you. I'm gonna stop sharing.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Meredith. Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be amongst you all. I'm excited about this opportunity. So my name is Selma Moulouj, and I'm from Algiers, Algeria. So in North Africa, which is the biggest country in Africa, actually. So I'm an Atlas scholar at the first cohort of the first Virtual Leadership Institute. So what I do currently in my life, so I'm working as a relationship associate for City, and I'm also leading a youth association in Algeria that focus on developing the youth capacities. So why I joined Atlas Corps? So because first of all, I believe in their vision and mission, because Atlas is working hard to address critical social issues, and they are here to help develop leaders from all around the world. And as a community advocate and activist who is working in youth empowerment and women empowerment issues, Atlas Corps is the best organization which is helping me strengthen my skills and teaching me new practices to make a change in the community and also benefit my country, Algeria, from their expertise. So I can say that the highlight, of Atlas Corps, so what touched me really, so is the ability to build a network of leaders and work together towards a common goal to accomplish. So we have leaders from all around the world. So for example, last time I helped one of the scholars from Venezuela to develop a social media strategy for his environmental campaign. And this power of working together, helping each other from different parts of the world, it's the biggest highlight. I'm also working on a new project for the community here, and I always ask questions, from the different leaders who have expertise, and this is really, helping me a lot in my journey. So I have learned that, the struggle is the same in everywhere in the world, and connecting with these people who are making a change in this, world is just inspiring and helping me moving toward my goals. So I don't know if I answered the question.
Yes, thank you, Selma. That was fantastic and so inspiring to hear the story of an Algerian and Venezuelan collaborating across not just across borders, but across an ocean. That is very, very cool. And then next up, I'd like to ask Ayatayo if is Ayatayo on the call to share a little bit about what's been valuable for him and to introduce himself.
Hi.
Hi.
On September 18, 2020, the world and indeed the global cybersecurity community had a shock of our lives, something we never expected. The first ever death that had to do with cyber hacking. The Düsseldorf University Hospital in Germany had a brutal attack. Unfortunately, a woman was on the life support at that time. It was really shocking. Nobody ever expected it. How did this happen? It was due to some softwares they were using, and that was it. A life lost connected to a cyber attack. I have determined after that incident that I'm going to spread the cybersecurity awareness through every part of the world. My name is Ayatayo Alimi. I'm a Nigerian. I'm an Atlas Core Cohort 2 scholar. I'm the founder and CTO of Nectar Hub Software Company. And this is why I joined the Virtual Leadership Institute to spread cybersecurity across the world. 1 month into the program, I've been able to reach 3 continents and 4 countries with my cybersecurity awareness program, which wouldn't have been possible if I don't have this kind of opportunity to join VLI. One major thing that stood as a learning part for me was the ability to meet different people from across the world, to learn from them and to share ideas. And just 1 month into this community, we've been able to have weekly cybersecurity meetings. For example, I have one of the regular people coming for this meeting is someone from Iraq, another one from Pakistan, somebody from Morocco, and another person from Kenya. This wouldn't have been possible because I couldn't have flown to Iraq because of the lockdown to do all of these things I'm doing. So if you're looking for a sample of diversity, inclusion, and belonging, trust me, look no further. The best place to find is Atlas Core community because you find people of diverse accents, diverse colors, diverse cultures coming together as global leaders to achieve one common goal. Like an African proverb says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go further, go together. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ayatayo. And I believe we might have time to ask you guys one more question about your scholar experience. And so just if you could briefly share just sort of maybe one experience about like what your peer coaching or leadership projects have been like so far. Selma, just briefly, can we start with you?
Yeah, sure. So I just want to add something to what my colleague from cohort 2 said. So I just want to say that the Atlas Core community is so diverse, and the connection we were able to make even only virtually is just amazing and unbelievable. Because when we think about, you know, how the life became and virtual is, I mean, I feel connected to every, you know, scholar in my cohort, and all the cultural differences or beliefs don't matter because we are all working towards the same goal, which is helping a better place. And to answer your question, Meredith, so in my peer coaching group, so it's a small group of 5 people. So we have people from different countries. We have from the Middle East, we have from North America, and we have a great captain, so who is leading the group. And in this small group, actually, we are working on developing our leadership project. So far, actually, I'm in a phase of finalizing my project, and it's I should thank my team on working with me towards it, because I had to develop everything, and you know, we reviewed the work together, and they gave me their insights and feedback. So I'm gonna tell you about my project. project. So in Algeria, there is a lack of leadership and mentorship programs for youth, especially for those who come from low-income families, because unfortunately they have no opportunities to grow and develop themselves. So I thought of creating a project called Community Leadership Algeria, with its vision developing the leader within every youth today for a better world tomorrow, which aims to support the hidden potential in young adults and target cultivating a relationship that fosters the youth personality and bring, develop their positive development and well-being. So through this project, so I'm aiming, to target high school students and university students who come from low-income families in order to provide them with workshops to develop their leadership skills and enhance their civic engagement, increase their level of advocacy, and also use all the materials that I'm having from the Virtual Leadership Institute. Actually, we're having, a source of knowledge of materials on Canvas, and I would like to use these materials and teach them here to our youth in Algeria. So I'm working on developing the syllabus and stuff, and my coach at the peer learning group helped me, and also my team. So I'm very, very grateful to this opportunity, because the youth in Algeria are going to benefit not only from a new program, but from an expertise of Atlas Core community and fellows from all around the world. So this is my experience so far with Atlas, and I'm so grateful for it. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Awesome. Thanks, Selma. And Ayatayo, can you share a little bit about your leadership project or your peer coaching group?
Yeah, my peer coaching group, of course, is consists of people from diverse parts of the world. My group captain is Fernandez from Mexico. She's been very helpful about my project. My project is called Cyber Planet. That's aimed to do three things: awareness, information, and support about cybersecurity. Because one thing I've learned in my IT professional journey is that these cyber baddies, it's not as if they are that smart. It's just a lack of information, basically. So I'm there to share awareness, information, and even give simple technology support. It doesn't have to be expensive, for people to be able to protect themselves from cyber threats. So I've been able to learn how to collaborate with other people from different parts of the world. For example, someone from Iraq will be helping me translate my cybersecurity policy into Arabic. That wouldn't have been possible without this project. I've never been to Iraq. I never studied Arabic, but I'm going to be bringing out an Arabic cybersecurity policy at the end of my coaching program. And this is just 1 month into the program. You can imagine what I'll be able to do at the end of the 7 months. So it's been super cool. I never thought I could, begin and, get to this level at this project, just in 1 month. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you, Ayatayo and Selma, for sharing your experiences. I'm so glad to hear you found the experience valuable so far. I'm going to briefly go back to my PowerPoint to tell you a little bit about the application process. Quick. So you can find all the details about how to apply at hilton.atlascore.org. And there's also a link to an FAQ section at the bottom of that page as well, if you want to read more about some of our frequently asked questions, which we may also get to on this call. Our priority deadline for applications is March 16th. So we encourage you to submit your application by then for this program, which will run from May to December. And to be eligible for the Institute, you have to be a full-time employee at a Hilton Humanitarian Prize Laureate organization and have at least 2 years of professional experience. English proficiency, all the entire program is conducted in English. And you also have to have the technology capability to participate in video calls, such as a Zoom call like this one. And the program includes 3 hours a week on average of either scheduled or self-led online activities. And the target profile, or what we've built our curriculum for, are candidates typically with 2 to 10 years of experience. So this tends to be more of the maybe early to mid-career type professional. Our curriculum is not typically built for a more senior, like executive level person at the organization. Though hopefully, if any of you are on the call, hopefully you'll be able to nominate candidates. And so the application includes a couple short essays of just 250 words, a brief description of your idea for your leadership project. And like I said, that idea can change. It can still be in development. It's just to get a sense of kind of who you are and what you're thinking. A 2-minute video submission, and then contact information for a reference. And so once you submit your application, or once you enter that contact information, the system can send a reference to your the information to your reference about how to submit their letter of recommendation. Top candidates will be, we'll be reviewing the applications, and we'll invite our top candidates to join the Virtual Leadership Institute. And if you know people who might be a good fit for this program, I encourage you to nominate candidates and spread the word at your organizations, either by sending them this link to hilton.atlascorp.org. And we'll also be sharing a nomination form where you can fill out information of a candidate that you think should apply, and we'll follow up with them. And so that wraps up everything that I wanted to cover. And so I'm going to turn it over to Abby to lead our question and answers.
Great. And thank you all. Thank you, Meredith, Tayo, and Selma. Great information. And also to those of you who've been asking questions, we do have a few. So Meredith is kind of an interesting historical question. For those of you who don't know, this is a milestone year for both the Conrad and Hilton, the Hilton Humanitarian Prize, celebrating 25 years. Atlas Corp is celebrating 15 years. And this Virtual Leadership Institute is actually something we launched in November of 2020. So this is this pioneer opportunity and innovation within our model. So the question that was asked was, when looking at the Atlas Corp website and reading the bios of the fellows, I noticed that there are not any from developed countries. Is this going to be true from this program? And in full disclosure, I have to acknowledge that I am an Atlas Corp alum from the United States. So I'm proud to say that I am from the community, leading the community. And Meredith, we'd love thoughts. Give us an idea of overall, who are some of our scholars? Where are they from?
Yeah, exactly. So members of our Atlas Corp network have come from countries all around the world. And we have had fellows and scholars from the United States, like you mentioned, Italy, Spain, Canada, the UK, Australia, and more. And so, we're always looking for the best social change leaders, not necessarily the best social change leaders from quote unquote developing countries or the global south, or however you may define those countries. So the selection process is aligned with Atlas Corp. It's unique in that we're going to be focusing only on team members at the laureate organizations, which will likely include folks from the United States and other countries as well. No, I totally understand, Emily. There's both scholars and fellows, and we've had fellows and scholars from a variety of countries.
Yes. Excellent. And then another question, is there a limit on the number of applicants that will be selected from each of the organizations?
Great question. So our goal is to have 50 Hilton scholars. And in simple terms, it could mean 2 from each of the 25 laureate organizations. Our goal is to have at least 1 from organization, and then it will depend on the application. And we do anticipate a competitive process. So check out the application today.
Excellent. And just curious, Meredith, from your experience, what makes a good application?
I think what makes a strong application is really taking some time to write out those answers and to try and be as detailed as you can. If you say, oh, I want to learn from my peers. Well, the more specific you can get about, what it is that motivates you to join this program, or what specifically you want to learn, the more it gives us a sense that this is something that you are really committed to and have a strong motivation to complete. Or if you're trying to write about your experience with something and you say, oh, I recruit volunteers. Don't just say I recruit volunteers, but give a little bit of specific, like I lead a volunteer program that includes X number of people and serves this community, et cetera. So even though these essays are brief, do try to add a little bit of specifics. Check over, and if English isn't your first language, try to really make sure that you are either using spell check or having a friend read them over, and make sure that they are well written. And this video submission is a relatively new part of our process that we're giving a try. And try to it does not have to be a professionally filmed video by any means. These are meant to be something that you can film at your desk just with your computer. But do try to make it seem to have it feel like you rehearsed it and you set it up, and you're not just like speaking on the fly about you're like sort of improvising this little video. So do prepare that response.
Excellent, and some more great questions coming in. References. Do your references have to come from the Hilton, the organizations that are part of the laureate community?
So they don't have to come from a reference from within your laureate organization, but we strongly encourage it. So you can put anyone there who can speak to your professional abilities, and especially maybe you're new at your organization, you want to use someone who knows you better. That's fine, but we'd love to see a reference from a laureate organization if you are able to obtain one, and that will add to your application.
Great. And can you submit, how many references should you submit, and can you submit, Meredith?
I think it's just one. We're only requiring one, and so we're actually not looking for you to submit more.
Great. And let's talk about peer coaching groups. How are they organized? Is it by geography, focus area? We'd love to hear that structure.
Yeah, so we've been primarily organizing them by time availability, which often aligns with geographic location, because we do want to make sure that over a 7-month period that group can, as much as possible, all meet, all 7 or 8 people, that they can all meet once a month, that they can find some time together. So we've been primarily using schedule availability for that. And as much as we can, we do try to keep the groups diverse, but we'd rather have groups meeting and being present than forcing a schedule that doesn't work for people.
Excellent, thank you. And we're going to do a few more questions. I do encourage you, if you have questions, comments, inspirations, write them in the chat, private message me to the group so we can answer them. We will be nearing the end. So a question too is about the leadership project. I think Selma and Ayatollah offered some great perspectives. And just from this group, wanting to know, Meredith, you have kind of the full exposure to what scholars have been working on. What have you seen? What are some additional examples that people are working on?
Yeah, so one example could be developing a skill that you can use both for your own personal career and your organization. So for example, campaign management, learning how to more effectively launch a social media campaign. That's something that will hopefully serve your organization and the laureate organization's mission, and also serve you throughout your career. And you could develop your project around that. Maybe there's like an M&E project, a monitoring evaluation project at your organization that you'd like to take on, while also developing your skills in monitoring evaluation. And maybe it's more of a something that's maybe more of a soft skill, like public speaking or something like that, something that maybe there's no specific project with it, or something that you want to develop that skill and enhance your storytelling skills to better communicate your mission in public speaking. And there could be some activities you could have around that, like that you're going to practice this in certain ways and you're going to attend a training, or there could be some activities associated with developing a skill like that then you could apply throughout your career.
Great. And two actually related questions is, one was asking about the time zones when the program meetings, the launch calls, peer coaching. And then I think related to that is, What if I'm unsure if I can participate in all the calls? Can you give some insight into that?
Sure. So we've decided that our very first call is going to be, I think it's May 18th, 11 a.m. Eastern time. And our goal is that the scheduled video calls are going to be held, it could be within a range of times, but anytime between 7 a.m. or 11 p.m. in any given time zone to accommodate participants that are in numerous time zones across the world. So, something that may seem super early in California could actually be very late on the other side of the world. So we are trying to accommodate a lot of different time zones. And it's possible that, those scheduled live calls could be during work hours as well. So, we'll finalize the exact call times closer to the start of the Institute, and our call times are subject to change as we analyze participants' time zones and attendance. As we get these applications, in fact, there's a question on the application, I think, where you have to list your time zone. As we're sort of analyzing, okay, what does our cohort actually look like? We may be able to better determine those exact start times. While scholars are encouraged to attend live sessions to make new connections within the laureate community, they will have access to recordings of sessions if they're unable to attend live.
Great, thank you. And one last question is, Meredith, can you give us an example of one of these live calls and launching one of the modules?
Yeah, exactly. So one of our first launch calls for our leading movements module, we had a speaker named Ira Koretsky, who's his kind of brand name is the Chief Storyteller, and he did a session talking about how to tell your story, meaning how to communicate who you are, who your organization is, what your mission is, and move people to support you, whatever that cause might be. And so he gave both some examples from previous stories that people have told, including he uses one of our Alice Corps Fellows graduation speeches as an example, which I always love, and talks about how to craft your story in a compelling way. And then on the call, scholars got a chance to practice that with each other and even get real-time feedback from Ira. Like they'd be putting in a little bit, like they, crafting their one-sentence message, what he calls a better tomorrow message. And he would give them immediate feedback on the call. And then after that call, one of the activities was that they practiced this in one of our online activities, and our top 3 responses that we selected out of all the activities people turned in are getting personalized feedback on that larger assignment from Ira himself. So that's some way that no matter what field you're in, no matter what your mission or your cause is, our speakers are designed to support you in your professional development.
Great. Well, thank you, Meredith. And Meredith, while I'm talking, I'd love for you to pull up that application slide with some of those key dates. And I just want to thank everyone for their great questions. Thank Meredith for their answers, and also to our scholars for their personal insight. And I just want to encourage people that over the past 12 months, as we've been asked to stay home, borders have closed, we've done less travel, and yet we're all still doing really important work. Like you, in your communities, in your regions, in your countries, you are inspiring these positive social impact activities. And now is the opportunity to just engage with that broader community, to learn, to share, and to support one another. And that's really what this Leadership Institute is about. And Atlas Corps is so honored to collaborate with the Conrad N. Hilton Foundation and to bring this innovative group of individuals together so that we can create this community that's going to start with this Leadership Institute, and it'll have the goal of continuing to grow, continuing to engage within the laureate community, as well as with the Atlas Corps community, because we see that's when that positive change is going to happen. We are inspiring you as individuals, and then you're creating that impact in your homes, in your communities, in the world. So on that note, just some key things to remember. Hilton.atlascorps.org is where you can find all the information. March 16th is the application deadline. The program will run from May to December. Of course, we always say once a part of Atlas Corps, I was a part of Atlas Corps, once a part of the Laureate community, I was a part of the Laureate community. So we look forward to ongoing engagement. There's some highlights of the eligibility requirements. We also invite you, if you do have questions that we may not have answered here, or you want to get more details, hilton@atlascorps.org is where you can email the Atlas Corps team and we will answer those questions. And we will be in touch. As you go through the application, we recognize that you are going to have questions. It happens. And so we are here to answer those questions. Email is a great way to reach us. So hilton.atlascorps.org. And we're excited to receive your application. So share it with a colleague, share it with another organization within the Laureate community, and let's pull together a lot of great applications. And let's really launch this Leadership Institute with strength and with some inspired individuals. So on that note, Meredith, I think you can stop sharing the screen. We just want to thank everyone for coming today. We want to thank all our speakers. We especially want to thank the Conrad N. Hilton Foundation, Maggie, Hannah, as well as Peter for joining us, for supporting us, for collaborating with us. And we look forward to being in touch. And on that note, I'm going to share one other quick poll. And let me see our poll too. So just as we asked at the beginning, how are you starting the call? A quick question to how are you leaving the call today? So we're asking, are you excited, ready to apply, share the information? Are you intrigued, ready to research more? Maybe you're still unsure and processing information. Let us know, because we're here to answer those questions. We're here to get you the information you need. Excellent. So awesome. We have jumped to 81% of people excited as well as intrigued. And it sounds like we achieved our goal of answering questions today. So we have no one who's, oh, let me share this. No one who's unsure. So great to hear it. Excited to engage with you all and welcome you. And so on that note, and on behalf of Atlas Corps, I just want to say thank you. We look forward to hearing from you. And we look forward to you spreading the word. All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you very much. Inspiring.
Great.